Hello to all of you. Good morning to all my Watercolor Wednesday friends. Thanks for joining me for another Wednesday. I love this day so much. And we're kind of in the holiday mode. I've got another holiday project for you today. This time it's Halloween. I don't know about you guys, but I love Halloween. When I was a kid, obviously I loved it for the candy, but now I really think, I was thinking about this yesterday, I really think I love it because I love making jack-o'-lanterns. I just love making jack-o'-lantern faces. So I think that's a huge reason why. And I also love like little spiders and things like that. I mean, not in my house, but on my watercolor projects, I do love doing that. So I have a Halloween project for you today. I hope you're gonna like it. But before we get to that, I love saying hi to everyone. So please tell me that you are on. This is the chance that I really get to look at my comments because as you know, I'm not very good at that, but I am at the very beginning good at doing that. So I would love to say hello to you. I see Diane Mason. I see Linda. Hello. Sheila. Hello. Heather. Does this remind you of Romper Room, you guys? Because I know that's going to age us all, but do you remember Romper Room? And I see so-and-so and Jimmy and Bobby and Susie. It's kind of how I feel. So we'll just pretend that's what we're doing here. So hello to Linda, who's watching. Hello to Melody from Elk Grove, California. Palm Desert. Oh, wow, I bet it's hot there. It has been hot here. And maybe that's why I'm really into fall and Halloween stuff because I'm ready for some cooler weather. You guys probably are too. Georgia is in the house. Hello, Georgia, our talented Georgia. She's so great. Ruth Ann is from Oregon, so she's just kind of in our backyard. Hello to Linda, Regina, Barbara, thank you for watching. Deanna, hello. Joy, hello. Hello, Carrie, thank you for watching. Is anybody new here? You know, I see so many familiar names, but I see lots of new ones too. So is there anybody here that's maybe watching for the first time? I would love to get a comment from you. Hello, Maggie, she's watching. Carol, hello. Looking forward to today. Me too. I just love Wednesdays. I love it. Hello, Jane. Loved Romper Room. Yes, it was one of my favorite. And you know, Ramblin' Rod. I mean, wow, that's really dating us all, I'm sure. Hello from Texas. Hello, Nancy. Linda from Chico. Wow. Sally, Southern California. Ginger. Hello. Hi to everyone, you guys. Don't we love watercolor? I absolutely love watercolor. And I love this type of watercolor because it's super quick and easy. And you know what? It doesn't take a lot of stuff. And you know what we're using today? So today is a Halloween project. It's a monochromatic, which I haven't done in a long time. And a monochromatic means one color. So today we're using one pen, one marker. That is all we're using. This is the N25 and really it's just a black. So if you've got a black marker, get that out because you're going to use it today. And we're going to put a little Halloween scene together. Super, super fun. Barbara, hello, Tina. Hello, let me see, am I missing people? Love watching you and Kendra. I haven't seen anything from Kimberly. She is coming. She is on her way. She's going to be here soon. We are going to throw her into some lives really quickly and get her going. She is a great teacher. And the really neat thing about this too is that we're all using the same stamps, but it's amazing how different our projects turn out because we all have different styles. Some of us have a heavier hand and we have a darker final project. Others are so soft and delicate and theirs look totally different. So you've probably seen that. If you stamp with your friends, you've seen that your projects look totally different from theirs. So she also is a different type of artist. She has a different style. So it's really fun to see different styles come out. And yes, Kendra is a favorite. She loves her people. She loves it. And she is on every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. So if you haven't seen her, check her out because she is doing back to basics. Now, you know, back to basics, even if you've been doing this for a while, back to basics is a great refresher, especially if you're thinking, oh, I haven't done this in a really long time. I don't know if I want to tackle a really complex project, but you could do a simple wreath and you could do one of our little mini sets that she's sort of working through, trees, you know, pots, things like that. So Olympia, hi, I'm new, but have tons of your stamps and I'm addicted to the matchbooks. They are so fun. Those of you who have not seen the matchbooks, they're little tiny miniatures. I also love miniatures. I love mini canvases, but I love miniatures and the matchbooks are so cute. Okay, Olympia, keep your eye out because there's some new ones coming for the holiday. So if you are on our newsletter, you will get a notice about that. So be sure you sign up for our newsletter. Okay, Tina from Cincinnati, hot here. Oh yeah, it's been hot here too. And we usually don't get that kind of, you know, those kinds of temperatures, you know, the high 90s and hundreds, but it has been blistering hot here. So we're ready for some fall weather. Okay, you guys. Hello, Carolyn. Carolyn is in the house. You guys, thank you so much for being on here. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for following us. Thanks for watching our tutorials. I mean, we love doing them and we love doing them because you guys watch them. So it is super fun. If you have questions, you know, let me know. Hello, Kathy. Kathy is on. Michelle, hello. Debbie Hill, hello. Good friend of ours, Debbie Hill. She is awesome. Okay, you guys, you know what? I could scroll through here for an hour, but we have got to get to our project, which I hope you guys like. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to flip my camera around and I will show you the project that we are doing today. So let me do this without cutting you all off. Okay, I don't know why this part is so stressful for me all the time, but it just is. And then getting the camera straight. So let me just move this down a little bit here. And we are going to do our monochromatic. So I think this might be just a little low here. Sorry about that, you guys. But it bugs me when things aren't straight here. So, you know, I am really a right brain artist, but I do have that left brain too. I do like to see things that are kind of orderly. And that's why there's rules to this technique, because I know a lot of you are comfortable with rules and it makes things a lot less stressful when you have rules to follow. Okay, so here is our project. This is a monochromatic. In other words, it's one color. So we're going to be doing this with one pen, just one pen. Now I'm using the N25. Basically, this is a black. So you can use any black and do this project. Now, I also know that some of you, now I said earlier that I love Halloween. I love creating little Halloween situations like this, little scenes. I love jack-o'-lanterns, love them. And I love spider webs. But some of you don't like Halloween. And I totally get that. I get that you don't like Halloween. You like more things that are harvest. So I did another one just to show you. Now, this is a different color combination. And actually, it's mostly just the brown, which is the 969. I did mix a little of the black with it just to get a little more variation of color. So the N25 and the 969. And what I mean by that is I inked the structure with the brown and the black together. So I got a little more variation of color rather than just this, this brown alone. But you can see that you can do it with any. Now this is something more like, you know, when you see those old vintage photos and there's, you know, more sepia in them, and it's almost like a, you know, old fashioned type vintage look. And it's a really good one for, you know, those guys in your family or somebody that you know, something more masculine. So something like this would be really fun. And actually, when I was doing this, I thought, you know what I need? I need a rusty old lawnmower to kind of put in the front that I could hang a cobweb on. And I thought that would be really cute. So I stuck that in my memory bank so that maybe you'll see an old rusty mower coming out in the future. But I thought that would be so cute with this little shed. So I made this, more fall looking, more masculine looking, and, it's got the little pumpkin, but it doesn't have the jack-o'-lantern face on it. So there are, other options with this. So if you don't want to, you could follow along with me on this, and then just leave the face off too, and leave the little spook out. You could do that. Now I left the grids in the windows, so I left this detail in on this one, and then took it out over here because I wanted to put this little spook in the window. I just think he's so cute. Now, if you notice here, these are the birds, and these birds actually are from the Bible journaling set. Now, if you don't have this, I'm going to show you at the end how to make a little bat, just freehand a little bat. So I'll show you how to do that if you don't have this this set. But you can use this set too, especially these that are in the background. Bats are a little more shaped like a triangle, and I'll show you that at the end so that you can put some little bats in. Okay, so let's get going, and I'm going to show you what else we're going to need besides that little shed. So here is the shed, the garden shed set, and this is the one that I'm using right here. Now these would all work. They would all be really, really cute. You could put something really cute in here. And in this window too, big old cobweb in here. That'd be so cute with the big spider. However I like them on my projects, I don't like them in my house. Sick. Just don't like spiders at all. And I'm sure you guys don't either. So, okay, so the garden shed. And then we're going to use this tree, this old oak tree here. And we're just going to use part of it. So here, go back to the sample again. Do you see how this tree is really full here? I'm not going to use all of that out here. And it kind of makes it look a little gnarly and a little sparse in here, a little creepier, just by using some of these branches, but not the little ones out here in the back. But we'll get to that too. The little pumpkin, just use this one. And then in the foliage set, I just use the tip of the vine. So just, maybe like the top third. The branches, love the branches set. I just used this little one, but you could really use any of these in this composition. Any of these little branches are going to work. And then in foliage set 3, this tall grass here, we're going to use that. And then my favorite accent grass. We're going to use these too. So there we go. We don't need a lot of stuff. And actually, if you have one set of grass, you're probably fine. You can just use that, or you can also freehand too, some things. So let's get going here. I've got my Canson paper ready to go. And I am going to make sure this is in the center first, actually. Let me just pull this down a little bit and make sure that we are in the center. And I will try to, I'm going to move my comments over. I try different things every time, and I'm still terrible at watching the comments, you guys. I don't know how Kendra does it. She's so good at that, and I watch her do it, and I'm still not doing it. But I'm trying, you guys. Also, if you would like this project, so if you would like this Halloween one, or you would like this monochromatic here, just specifically ask for that in the comments. So I do give these away, and we do kind of look through here and pick a winner. So you could take home one of these for sure. Okay, let's get going here. We're going to start out with this little shed here, and I'm not going to ink these little windows. So I'm just going to ink around because I want to put that little spook in here. So I'm going to find my pen, which... what in the world did I do with that now? Where did that go? Oh, man. Okay, you guys, what happened to my marker? Oh, that is bizarre. All down? And one marker, that's the only one that I am using. And of course, here it is in my lap, you guys. Okay, crisis averted. One marker and lost. Can you believe that? Okay, so this is the N25, and we're going to ink this little shed. And I'm just going to kind of go around this window. It doesn't have to be perfect. But just get the frame of the window, not the little panes. You know, unless you don't want to put that little spook in there, you don't have to. You can just leave it. And then just ink up the rest of it, just using the black. Just the black. And I'm not going to stamp this one off because I do want lots of ink on here. So I'm just going to kind of stamp this in the center. And that is exactly what we want. And then let's go ahead and get the other elements in too. This is the little pumpkin. So I'm going to use my positioner and kind of stamp that. It looks like it's a little bit in the foreground. It's a little big for this composition, but in order to fix that, we just move it to the foreground. So basically it's just in front of this little shed, and then it doesn't matter what size it is. So we just kind of position it differently. Okay, so now I'm going to use my positioner and I'm going to ink it in, guess what color? Yep, black. I'm going to ink it in black and then stamp it in the corner. And now I can position it exactly where I want it. I'm going to turn it just a little bit and bring it to the front. And then huff on it. And there we go. So now we're going to put that tree into the background. And like I said, I'm just going to ink parts of this. So I'm going to get these big branches in here for sure. And then I need part of the trunk. I'm going to have to cover some of that little shed. And then I'm just going to get a few of these kind of little gnarly branches. You know how they just kind of curl around like this. And that will be good enough. And then I'm going to just take some Post-it tape and just kind of cover this area right here. And then I'm going to just stamp this right over the top, just like that. And then I can just kind of continue this down. So I covered, I covered the other part of the shed, but I can just continue this down and I'll ink that in later. But see what I mean by the kind of the gnarly look here? It's got a little more character and it doesn't look like an oak tree. It looks more like a Halloween project. So, okay, so let's get going on this one. And we're going to start by pulling the color out of the lines. And I'm going to just kind of start with this little structure and just drag this color out. And especially underneath, here's where we're really going to see these shadows. Now, the wider the shadow here, the more that sets the door back into the frame. And when we put a shadow here, that also sets it back inside. And we'll come back in and do a lot more detail in here, but we're just kind of in the starting stages. So underneath these lines, these are all separate little, like little cedar shakes in here. And so we're going to see a shadow under those. And I think, let me see if I can just zoom in a little bit here. Oh, that's too much there. And get a little more detail. Okay, so that looks good. So now under here, we're going to see a shadow. And I just drug that clear across that opening, just like that. And then under these little shakes too. And then we'll see a small line right here. And this here. This will be a big shadow under here. See how that brings that roof line out? Okay, it's already starting to look three-dimensional, isn't it? I just love how this works. I just love it. I still, every time I do it, think, this is just like magic. It's just so fun. Okay, so now with the tree, we're going to, because we're putting in that dark sky, we're just going to go to the inside. So that just means we're going to add the color to the negative space. So instead of dragging that color out to the image, we're going to drag it out to the negative space. And we're just going to kind of get this dark sky in here. Same over here. I'm just gonna keep dragging this color out. Just pull it to the outside, basically what you're doing. And we're kind of highlighting the tree. We're gonna add a little more color to it too, but for now, we're just kind of highlighting it by dragging that color out. See if I got any comments here, you guys. Okay. And just kind of keep going. See how that just kind of highlights that tree by pulling that color now to the inside. And now you can kind of dab at these little branches here. It'll kind of give the impression that there's just a few leaves still on here. Some scragglers. And you'll get a variation of color because, you know, some of these lines are thicker and have more ink on them, and some of them are a little thinner, but I think that just really adds to your composition. And then just keep feathering it out. Just use a wet brush and just keep pulling that color out until it kind of fades out. Okay, and then I'm just going to put in a little moon here in the background. So I've just got a little circle template here. And I'm just going to use my pencil and just kind of pencil in a little moon. Just to get that in. And let's kind of, let's go on over to this little pumpkin. And we're just going to drag this color out, just like we would if we were doing this the normal way. Just kind of pull that color out. Keep that highlight on there. Even if you're doing a monochromatic, the rules still apply. So you still need to see that, that little highlight on here. Okay, this is coming together here. Love it so much. Put some little details in here, and we'll get some foliages and some dried grass and stuff in here too. This is going to be a shadow under this little window. See how that just pops out that little frame up, just putting that shadow under there. It's the little things that really, really make a difference. It really is. Hence the rules, you guys. We love the rules. Okay, so we'll come back to this tree. And then I'm gonna just put a little color in here into this door. And then I'm gonna put some of this black onto my palette now and get a little color around the moon here. So I'm just gonna put a little of this color. Now, when you're doing the sky, you know, just kind of push the color around. Don't be doing any strokes unless you want to do something specific, you know, like with a cloud line. So in other words, if you want to do something that is a little more, you know, like this, where you're kind of making a little more detail in here, then you can use a brush stroke. But normally when you're doing a sky, just kind of push it in a little bit. Just push it around. And that's, you know, that's really all we have to do here. Okay, so let's get our little spook in. And I'm just going to use my pencil, my handy pencil. And, you know, you don't have to make it really detailed. You can just put the little spook in here like this, just with the little head peeking out. Or you can make it a little smaller and just have him waving with his arm. And then we'll fill his little eyes in and stuff too. But, you know, this is the neat thing about a pencil is you can just erase it if you're not happy with how it looks. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my black, the fine tip, and I'm going to really just darken this window all around this little ghost. So right up under here, under this little roof line, and then along the frame. And then just kind of fill in all this area. I don't use these tips very often because they're much bigger than what I like. So it's really hard to get detail in here, but with this large space like this, this is just perfect. Okay, so now we can take a fine tip. Now this is a micron, and I use these a lot for detail. So the thing about microns is that they're waterproof. And when you're doing a monochromatic like this and you're doing some detail in here, for example, the little the webs, you know, all the little details that that will go in here, the shadows, you can do that with this micron, and you can add water to it. It's not gonna bleed, so it's not gonna blend out, which is really, really important when you're doing the detail on a monochromatic like this. And I'll just show you as we go. So I'm gonna just put some little eyes on him. And you could just leave him just like that. I think he's cute just like that. Or you could put a little smile on his face. And he's just happily waving in here in the background. Okay, so we'll come back to that micron. Let's add a little more color now to the pumpkin, just from the palette. I want to just get a little darker color in here. And then just a little bit darker in this tree now. Now that this is kind of all dried back in here, we can add a little more color under the under these limbs. Put a little color back in here too. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my micron again, and we're gonna do some details in here. So first of all, we're going to start now with the pumpkin, and we're going to put these details back in and make this really dark. Now, when we're doing the monochromatic, it's really important to see that and be able to see that, because that's what's gonna make it look three-dimensional. So I'm really darkening this in here, just like that. And then I love making these little faces. They're just so cute. And, you know, lots of teeth. And you can do these however you want. So I'm just going to darken his little mouth in here so you can really see his teeth. And then maybe, I don't know, a little squiggly thing coming up here. That would be good. And then I'm going to add some detail now into this tree. So I've kind of penciled in where it's going, but I'm just going to add a few more lines in like that. So it becomes a little bit more like a pen and ink drawing because we are going to have these really sharp details in here. But I think that gives it a really neat look. Now let's make this little house, this little shed, a little more rundown. Okay, so like it's really weathered, and you know, when you're making a little structure like this for Halloween, like it should look like it's kind of fallen apart. So in order to do that, we're going to make some holes in some of these shakes, and the way to do that is 3 lines. Really, it's as simple as that. So 1, 2. And then 1 more, 3. And then the third one, this little section, we're going to color in. Okay, you see how that worked? It's basically just the edge of the new piece, and then the black on the inside. Okay, it's just the simplest little trick, but it works great. And you can do that on anything up here. So let's just say we want to darken this little one and kind of break out this little chip. You could also do a little triangle here where this one looks like it's kind of lifting up. And then we can maybe, you know, make another little chip out of this one. And make it look like it's just really kind of dilapidated. 1, 2, and then 3. 3 little lines. So you're seeing the edge of that little shake. And we're kind of making it look like it's just really old and kind of rustic. Now we can also make the handle look like it's kind of falling off the building. And in order to do that, you're just going to make a shadow behind it that looks like a triangle. So you see how that just looks like it's kind of hanging forward? It's just a simple little trick, but it really, really works. And we can just put some little details in this door. Some little boards. And we can also kind of wreck these a little bit. Maybe make one shorter than the other. And then kind of, you know, make a little triangle where it looks like that board is kind of bent. And then maybe up here as well, where this board looks like it's really just kind of ready to fall off. And then darken up in here. So it's going to be really dark kind of up in here. And we want this to look like this door is kind of set back, and actually it's going to look like it's open a little bit. You see how that just really kind of changed the whole look of this thing? So you can take, you know, any little structure and make it look like it's just kind of falling apart. So there's another one. I just kind of shortened that a little bit, kind of like this door. And you could kind of make it rough on the bottom. Fun little tricks, you guys. They're just so fun. And, you know, they're not scary at all. Just get a Micron pen. You can get these anywhere. And try these little tricks. So I'm gonna make a metal roof on here. And I'm just gonna do that with a squiggly line. Just like this, and the same over here. You know, something about a metal roof that's just so gross, you know, and old. And we can darken kind of in these little areas here inside. Just kind of at the top. See how that works? And then take your brush and just kind of continue these lines over. They don't even have to really line up. And it looks like it's kind of a metal, you know, just a little metal roof up there. And you could also do another one here where it looks like it's just kind of stuck on. And, you know, maybe you just do your little triangle and separate that a little bit. I mean, you know, dilapidated things are just so fun to do. They're just really, really fun. Under here, under this little windowsill, you know, that's going to be really, that's going to have that dark, dark shadow. And then back here, you know, underneath, this could be really dark back in here where that tree is. And you can just, you know, the more lines you add to this tree, the more kind of old and, you know, gnarly it's going to look. Just kind of follow these lines. You know, you can't, you know, it's pretty hard to mess these up. It really is. And don't give up before you're finished. Sometimes, you know, when you're doing these, they don't, When you're about halfway through, you're like, oh, wow, this is not coming together. And then the more that you kind of work with it, it does come together. It really does. Okay, so let's keep going here. Let's get in our foliage and stuff, and we're going to put some little branches in. So I'm going to ink these in the black and just kind of stamp these in, just kind of however. And maybe we've got one just kind of coming down on the roof too. And let's just put one over here. Some dead branches. And then, you know, there might be just some scragglers of leaves in here. So I'm just going to put in a few of these. Like maybe just a few. And, you know, we can put a few down in here too. Like there's just some overgrown, you know, kind of brush in here. Kind of where this little pumpkin is too. And then, of course, just dab. Don't lose all of your lines, you know, from the branches. You don't want to lose those, but you can soften up a little bit. Just kind of dab at it. And, you know, don't be afraid to add a few more. You know, these little branches, they kind of have some little, you know, knots in them. So you could kind of continue those out and make a few more. Be brave, you guys. Be brave. You can do it. So I'm going to add some grasses now. And the neat thing about these little grasses is that you can just use the parts that you want. So you don't, if you ink this whole thing, you're going to get, you know, something that looks like this. And that's not really what we want. So we want something that's more like just the top, this kind of thing. So you can use it lots of different ways. And I just am going to just get some of this grass in here, just like this. Just inking just a little bit of this the top. And then just, you know, kind of add, you know, a little water, mostly to the bottom. Leave that detail, you know, at the top. And then, you know, when you pull this out, this is going to create the shadows. You know, pulling this color out kind of elongates everything and kind of makes it look like, you know, the moon is casting a shadow and, you know, we're seeing all these little details in here. Let's put a little shadow on this guy. And there would be a shadow kind of in front of him in the window too. And I'm just going to darken this, I'm going to darken this shadow again underneath that, inside that door. Do you see how that makes that door look like it's almost ajar? And where you would see these shadows, you know, make sure you can really see those. Okay, I think you guys, okay, let's add some Kendra dots because, you know, if you've been watching Kendra, she has been bugging me for these dots for so long and I finally did them. And I mean, I got to admit, they are really cute. So she uses them all the time and they are kind of fun because it does kind of give you that idea that there's, you know, little seeds and stuff hanging out. And I'm just going to make a little darker shadow underneath this door and bring this out. Okay, you guys, sign and date. And you've got a fun little thing. Okay, let me show you a web here. Let's do a little web in here. And you know, there are lots of ways to do webs. The simplest one is to just pick a starting point, so a dot, and then extend that out to whatever this is going to be attached to. So for example, the little, you know, the branches, maybe this branch, maybe out here, maybe to the ground, you know, like this. And everything is going to pull to the center. So you're going to see those lines and they're going to be a bit curved. Okay, just like that. You could also have an anchor point here on something like this one. And you can pull those webs off of an anchor point like this. And they're also going to pull up. So you're going to see that bend in your little web. Not cute? You could put one, we could put one here in the door. So cute. And we can put, actually, we can just put a little spider. I mean, we don't want these in our house, but how cute are they? And super fun to do. And then just a little shadow under him. Okay, we are finished with this one. So don't forget to try this one, you guys. If you're not really into Halloween, you don't really like jack-o'-lanterns or spiders or webs and stuff, try this one instead, because this one also is really, really fun to do. So let me switch my camera around. And so that I can see you guys all and say goodbye. So be sure and tell me if you would like to have this original. We will pick a winner, and might be you if you would like to have it. So I hope you give this one a try. Let me just look at my comments in here to see if there's any questions that you guys have had. Who knew you could achieve this with one color? I know, isn't that cool? Monochromatics are the funnest things to do, and actually you can do them with a lot of your stamps. So any of your little structures, like the truck, you know, any of those types of things, the wagons, they're all really, really cute, especially when we get into fall. So try that with your browns, your blacks, try it with those, and be sure to get your shadows in there, because that's what really, really makes it look three-dimensional. Okay, you guys, this has been so fun. If you would like to see more holiday stuff, let me know. I may do one more week of fall, and then we'll start doing some Christmas projects, because I just absolutely love those too. So we will get into that. And I will be back again next Wednesday. So don't forget to check Kendra out. If you are new to watercolor, I would suggest you get the watercolor catalog. This has lots of inspiration in it. It's got lots of samples. It has all of the sets in there, and you can kind of see how to start and kind of make your wish list. That's always fun. And it just gives you something to hold in your hand and see exactly what we have to offer. So check that out. And check out Kendra. She is on every Tuesday with Back to Basics, and she's on at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Of course, me, I'll be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I hope you guys will all be back to be with us. Thank you again. More fun doing dilapidated than being Jane. She says, more fun doing dilapidated than being dilapidated. That is so, so true. So true. So with that, I will say goodbye to all of you, and I will see you back again next week. Thanks so much.